just the girls hanging out. The sweet, sweet girl. Daddy went to go get us groceries, didn't he? Yeah. There's a snowstorm coming. Oh, good morning. We just ate a whole ounce. Yeah. And Big Brother went swimming with his cousins, get some energy out. So it's just us and Penny Girl. We're gonna smile. You are so sweet.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home.
Throw it real good.
I hear the west winds calling out my name. They're telling me to head your way, down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the horizon. I was looking to belong when I'd already found my home.
Big yawn. Getting some sunshine on this snow day. What do you think of your nose, sister? What do you think of your nose, sister? And all these snow days with your toddler here.
Outdoor furniture can be so pricey. It's been kind of just like a quick little landing, and then we have our little mud room. It's not really a room, it's just kind of open to the basement, but
Cove want to sing and did.
Oh.
What's your name? Can you say Cove? Yes.
Cove.
It's tiny.
Shut. Go. Whoa. Big crash. Are you okay? Oh.
What are you doing right now?
You're holding Sissy? What's her name?
Cove.
Sister Cove. Oh.
Wake up.
Maybe in a minute.
She's gonna cry.
Lachlan, how are you
My
doing?
hands are full.
You gotta sit down.
Sit down. Oh, okay.
We are 5 days postpartum. Cruz finally went to school today. So it's just us girls right now. Dad went to take Cruz and get mommy a coffee, but I just heated up a burrito that I prepped when I was pregnant. So I prepped like 2 massive gallon bags of prepped burritos. I just did sausage, egg, cheese, wrap it up in a gluten-free tortilla, put it in foil. I would recommend putting a paper towel first, then foil, so it doesn't stick. Oh, my freezer is open. And then you can just pull it out from the freezer, heat it up for like 2 minutes, and then you have breakfast. So little girl had breakfast. Okay, that's so annoying. So I'll close that. Daddy did all the bottle dishes, thank the Lord. And that was her morning bottle. We are just gonna have a day. We have our first doctor's appointment today for her, and I figured I'd just take you guys along. This is gonna be like a weekly recap of life with Cove, postpartum, Cruz. Maybe I'll do a little birth story at some point. I think tomorrow we might be alone for the first time, so Dad might be, oh my God, might be going back to work. And I made Scott a little smoothie while he's getting me coffee. Pizza and a yogurt. All things go this week.
That's too hot.
So too hot? Okay.
Me.
That's we're here.
Your hair. Good job. Okay. Yeah, she likes that. Thank you. Are you cleaning her rag for her?
Huh?
Are you cleaning her rag?
No. Mommy, hand
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Good job.
Here you go. Yep, now pull it out. Look. You're draining it. Good job.
You want a what?
Now. Watch this. That's even cuter.
That's how you do it.
You are so pretty. Does it feel good, mamas? Little Miss is enjoying this little vibrating bouncer and peed through her gown she was just wearing. We were reading books in Cruz's room and she peed through her gown. I must not have had the diaper on all the way. But she's just chilling. Mom's gonna shower and take her time. Hopefully Cruz goes down super easy tonight. He's been so sweet tonight. He's always sweet, but extra sweet tonight. Dad is still with Cruz laying down. He's not fighting it, but he doesn't want to go to sleep. He's just laying there looking at Scott. It's actually so cute. But I just showered. Little Miss let me shower. She's in this bouncer. I'm just getting a little hungry. I need to do a desperate hair wash day, but I just haven't had a chance. So it's such a process. So maybe this weekend. You lost your dink? So I'm just gonna brush my hair, do some skincare. Take some ibuprofen. My boobs hurt so much. I am not breastfeeding, but my boobs are definitely, my milk has definitely come in. So we're doing ice packs. Oh my goodness. Ice packs. We're doing freaking cabbage leaves. Just doing, it's supposed to help dry it up. It helped work with Cruz. But it's been about 3 days, 2 days of real huge engorgement, like feeling not so hot, but we are getting there. It's getting better. Was hurting to like sleep. I put ice packs in my bra, really compressed bra. Those are like the main things. Put ice packs into sleep, change it when I feed her in the middle of the night a couple times. Frozen peas or frozen fruit. That is kind of what we're doing. And then I do cabbage throughout every other time throughout the day with ice packs. I do ice packs for a few hours, then cabbage, ice packs, cabbage. At night, I just do ice packs. So that was kind of confusing, but we are 5 days postpartum. Still have quite the belly, still wearing a diaper. So Mama Frida boy shorts have been my favorite to like go to bed. I feel more secure. Belly's gone down a little, but we're still like about 5 months pregnant feeling. The cramps after you have a baby, I will say after having the second baby, crazily intensifies. I did not expect, I like forgot about that part with Cruz's pregnancy and postpartum, but quickly reminded about that with hers because I guess it gets worse and worse every kid you have. So we are done after this one, so I guess this will be my last round of this. But I've been popping ibuprofen and Motrin around the clock since I got home on Sunday. Just doing a little skincare, get my contacts out, and then it is 8:50, I think is what this is, and she needs to eat about 9:15, and I'm hoping I can feed her. She's eating about 2 to 3 ounces each 3 hours-ish. Today's been a little off, and I don't know if it's because we went to the doctor and our timing was off, but she's ate like 1.5 ounces every like 2 hours, which is fine. I'm just kind of feeding her when she's hungry during the day. Last night she gave us a 4.5-hour stretch. I was so impressed. I like didn't sleep because I was like, is she good? Like worried about her. Like we should already be up feeding. And she was such a noisy sleeper last night that, like I said, at like 4 o'clock, I think I said earlier this morning, at like 4 o'clock I had to leave the bedroom because Cruz came up here at like 1. He woke up and wanted to come up here, and I was scared she was gonna wake him up yet. She had the loudest hiccups, so we slept out on the couch together. I know, not safe sleep, but she sleeps in her bassinet in our room. But it was the morning per se, so I was trying to get her out of the bedroom so Cruz could sleep and go to school today and feel good. So we hung out in the living room for like a couple hours before the boys woke up. And it's just working out. We're making it work. Obviously it's an adjustment for Cruz and all of us with our schedule. But like I said, it's only day 5. Like we're still learning, and we're just taking each day as it comes, having a little grace with ourselves, with Cruz, with her. We're not on a set schedule, so we're just kind of rolling with it. I'm doing the feedings throughout the night mostly. I'll wake up Scott if I'm like dead to the world, or like Cruz woke up, so I told him, I like woke him up like, hey, can you go get him? Like I have a feeding here in a few minutes. So like I said, I just wasn't sleeping because of my anxiety of just like hearing her, and I just wanted to make sure she was getting fed. My own problems. So hopefully tonight we'll sleep a little better. We'll see. I'm gonna feed her, swaddle her up. I've been trying to keep her awake. She's been awake this whole time I've showered and when we read Cruz books. So I've been like trying to coordinate her within Cruz's schedule the most I can, so it's not like, oh, mommy has to go be with baby, or Cruz, daddy has to be with you, or whatever the case may be. Obviously that happens, like especially with these snow days, like it's just been that way. He wants to play and wrestle, well, him will go downstairs, I will be up here with baby. But like at night I want to be down there with them, even if I'm not like helping, like if I'm just holding her, or vice versa, Scott's holding her and I'm doing the bath. And then we read books together. We've been doing that the past couple nights, and that's been nice. And then when he goes to bed, he gives her a kiss, and he always picks who he wants to lay with. Like I said, during pregnancy, it was both of us, but he's back to picking one. So he's been picking Scott the last 2 nights, which is nice. So then I come up here with her and get her usually ready for bed. But our feeding tonight is a little later than it has been. So I wanted to get a quick shower, which worked out great. Friday the 21st. It is almost a week since we've had Sweet Cove, and she's here just chilling next to me in her little snuggle me. She's been fed, changed, and happy. I have a cup of coffee. It is like 8:45 and Cruz is off at school, and this is his only second day of school. We've had snow days like all week, which has actually been like bittersweet and like a blessing in disguise. So we've had a lot of like family time, which has been nice to have him like getting used to Cove and like being a big brother, and like her getting used to him being crazy and sounds, and it doesn't seem to faze her. So it's like everyone said that's like second kid syndrome, like they're totally fine with all the noise. Your first one, you're trying to be quiet and like have the sound machine going when they're sleeping and like all that stuff, which we still do when she sleeps at night. But like during the day, if he's running around like crazy, that's what she's sleeping through, and she is doing great. Anyways, Scott went back to work today. He was off all week, so we had her on last Saturday, and he took a few work calls on Saturday. He is like the one guy that does his job in the office, so there's no like backup or anything, which we dealt with this with Cruz's birth as well. And he was like, well, I'm at least gonna take a week off this time. Last time he only took like 2 or 3 days off, but he was doing so much work, like they needed some paperwork and stuff, which I understand. He was doing so much work here, but it was nice to still have him here so he could watch her or watch Cruz or whatever. He did so like amazing taking Cruz downstairs and playing. Like I'm just not up for that quite yet. So Cruz and Dad have been buds for a while and hopefully Cruz still comes to me for like, I want mommy to cuddle me, I want mommy to hold me or whatever, but he has just been so sweet. But anyways, back up. Scott went to work today because he's just had so much work to do. I'm like, just go to work. It's just Cove and I. Cruz is at school. I can handle this. I figured I'd give a little birth story because I'm kind of going to wrap this vlog up of like a week of Cove and like adjusting as a family of 4 and like just what we've been doing, little clips. I haven't really vlogged a whole bunch, but I'm hoping I got a few clips just here and there of the day and like sweet moments I want to remember and look back on. This vlog is more for me and my family to like look back on months or years down the road. I wasn't into YouTube too much when Cruz was born, which makes me so sad that I'm not gonna have a vlog like this for him. I had a camera at the time. I was just super shy, didn't put out a vlog. I think Cruz was like 9 months old or 6 months old or something when I first put a vlog out. So I was not into it yet and I was so scared to post anything. So very sad, but I don't have a Cruz birth vlog. So I tried to make up this time, get a little Cruz clips with her. She's going to sleep now. So I figured I'd do just a little birth story if anyone cares to know. This pregnancy was hard on my body. I think it's because I'm 34 years old and not 29, 30 when I had Cruz. I guess I was 30 when I had him, or 31, 30? Doesn't matter. Regardless, getting older, my body took a toll. This was not a fun pregnancy. Very thankful though. Obviously, if you know our story, we did IUI to get Cruz. We tried for 2.5 years for him. Really tried and then couldn't find a doctor that would like really listen to us. I'm not going to go through the whole backstory, but basically it took us a long time to get Cruz. Very thankful for Cruz. When we knew we wanted a second, I instantly we tried by ourselves for like 4 or 5 months, I believe, but I called the fertility clinic and put our name down basically for the first available appointment to get talking and going. So that gave us like 4 or 5 months to try on our own. Didn't get pregnant. We ended up doing 6 rounds of medication, 5 IUIs for her, and all failed. Nothing worked. We were kind of giving up hope in the sense of like IUIs would not work. I'm gonna have to hold her. She's uncomfy. Big stretch girl. And we started talking IVF. IVF was our next option. Basically, so many IUIs, like the chances of them working just kind of go down. And our doctor was like, this is your last one. Of course, the last one did not work. So we did all the IVF meetings, the talks, the signing all the paperwork, all the questionnaires of like what happens if your eggs do this, this, and this, all these scenarios. Had all of our financial meetings. Gave us all of our pricing. We had a calendar written out of like our dates when things were going to start. We were taking May off. Hi, baby girl. And then waiting for my period in June to kickstart birth control. If you know the like routine of it, you have to do birth control and then shots would start after that and then just so on and so forth. So we kind of had this plan. I was waiting for my period in May or June and it just never came. And I'm like, what is happening? And so I finally took a pregnancy test. Sure as shit, I was freaking pregnant on my own on the 1 month. Like we were supposed to chill, kind of just have fun. It was fun. Like I was able to have a margarita at dinner if I wanted to. Not like that's the end of the world, but like sometimes a little treat was nice, or it was nice to not think about that. Like we could do anything and everything for the month and it was just fun. Cove entered the chat there. So we got pregnant and I remember calling my fertility clinic and I was like, you will not believe this, but I will not be coming in for a we were supposed to do blood draws like once my period started. I said, but I think I need to come in for a pregnancy test. So that's what we did. Find out I'm pregnant, move on. So graduated, went to our regular doctor at this point. So since I really kind of got pregnant on my own, I'm not necessarily under the fertility clinic anymore. Anyways, pregnancy was smooth for the beginning. I was pretty nauseous, but like it was pretty good. Nothing to complain about. My body was just tired. I would say by like week 32, I felt like I was 49 weeks pregnant. Like, I don't know what it was. I have not worked out, which I know that plays a part. I did not work out much this pregnancy. I just could not. Like my hips, my pelvic floor, everything just hurt. So I am so excited to get back into working out. That's a little side note. Like, so excited to get cleared at 6 weeks and like start doing light movements. I want to start walking when this weather starts becoming beautiful. Like, next week's supposed to be 40s and 50s. I'm gonna do some family walks or have the garage open, have her strapped to me and walk. Our gym is now out in the garage, so the treadmill faces like the front yard driveway, so Cruz can ride his bike while I walk. I'm just so excited for spring and to do that and get movement going. That is a big part of my life, and movement and my mental health. So I've definitely been struggling with that the end of pregnancy. I've just been ready for her to be here, and I've had a feeling that she would be early regardless if we took her early or she'd come on her own. My body just progressed differently with Cruz at 40 weeks. I was 40 weeks when I got induced with him. I was 0% effaced, and I think I was dilated like half a centimeter, and that was like being generous. My body just did not do it. So my pregnancy, or my labor with Cruz, was very long and dreadful. Actually, it wasn't actually that long because I went in at like 8 p.m. to be induced, and I had him at 11 the next day. But my birth with him was pretty traumatic. With her, it was just, I couldn't have manifest a better birth experience after what I had with Cruz. So I'm very, very thankful for that. Like, very thankful for that. I'm kind of getting off topic here. I'm going up and down, up and down. So with Cruz, I'll start with him. His birth, like I said, we went in at 8 p.m. Got induced that night. We started the Cervidil or whatever it is for the ripening of your cervix, like to get dilated. Started that. It was a very, very slow progression. I ended up getting an epidural. I think it was at like a 6 when I got an epidural with him. Fast forward, I'm not gonna go through everything. Fast forward to the morning, my doctor came in and like looked and did a practice push, and she's like, okay, let's do this. I pushed for 2.5 hours, and my doctor never left the room, which I'm very thankful for. My first pregnancy, I was so naive that I had no idea that was not common. Like, the doctor just kind of comes in when baby's about to fall out and helps you push the rest of the way, and then is there to, like, you know, sew you up if needed and all that stuff. But then that's it. But she was there the whole 2.5 hours I pushed. And I ended up, Cruz got so stuck in my canal, he was too far low to have a C-section, so it was out of the picture. We had to do a vacuum. A few tries of the vacuum, he actually came out. She had to perform an episiotomy on me, front to back basically. So that was fun. I also started hemorrhaging. I don't really remember Cruz's birth, and it makes me so sad because I don't even have a vlog of it or anything. I remember pieces of it, but like after he came out, she put him on my chest and like he cried and I was having a moment, you know, I remember all of that. And then it just kind of got like blurry. I was shaking, of course, from like the epidural, the adrenaline, like everything like that. And then my placenta like wouldn't come out. It ended up like going into pieces inside of me, and nothing came out. So they had to bring another doctor and an ultrasound tech. Basically, one went in with the ultrasound wand and they were like scraping the pieces of the placenta out, and that's when someone took Cruz from me, and they had to do a whole NICU like evaluation for the vacuum, which I didn't even know. Like I said, I'm glad I was naive because I didn't really know like that was even an option to do the vacuum. It is not normal when like they say that and like 30 people come into your room immediately before you give birth. So again, naive, did not have a clue, but I'm very thankful for St. Luke's East staff because they were tremendous. I couldn't have asked for like a better ending for the scenario, I guess. Cruz checked out. He had like a hematoma on his head just from the vacuum, but it healed beautifully. He had no brain damage. I do know some like people I follow on Instagram that the vacuum caused like brain damage, and I just like had no idea, and it's so sad to think about. But Cruz was beautiful, and like I said, don't remember too much after that. I hemorrhaged. We did not have to do a blood transfusion. I was like borderline, but did not have to do one, thankfully. But I ended up just basically going to sleep for a few hours, and Scott had to take care of Cruz, and it was our first baby. Scott really doesn't like take care of babies. He's held babies here and there, but not. I was like freaking out. I woke up, I was like, oh my god, where's my baby? He's like, he's right here, like everything's okay. So I just remember that being very traumatic, painful, and like the whole time at the hospital, we were there for like 72 hours, was a blur, and I was in so much pain. But he was beautiful, and I was thankful, and it was just, obviously every birth is so crazy and wild. Women's bodies, even if you have the perfect pristine textbook birth, like insane that women can even do that, like superheroes. And I just I don't know. I just didn't know those were the possibilities of giving birth. But my parents and Scott's family and everyone was like freaking out because Scott went radio silent for like a few hours because of everything that was going on. He couldn't like let them know what was going on. Regardless, we're all healthy, thankful that it all went well. Love my doctor. She did so great talking me through it. I remember kind of hyperventilating. She talked me through it, stitched me up. Like, it was all okay at the end of the day. But my recovery with him was, it was rough. Let's just say that. Even when I got home, it was so rough. So anyways, that's that. This whole pregnancy, I have been like trying to manifest a different birth. Like, she's going to be ready. We're going to go early. She's going to know what to do. My body's done this before, and it did do that. So at like 30, I think by like my 36-week appointment, I was dilated to a 2. Don't quote me. I have it written down. I'm not going to go through all my notes, but it was a 2, and then my next one was a 3. And then the week of my induction, we ended up doing an induction at 39 weeks, kind of elective in a sense. She went from basically being 30 to 40 percentile in growth her whole pregnancy, my whole pregnancy, up until literally like in January we did another growth ultrasound. And the only reason we did a bunch of growth ultrasounds is because Cruz ended up being 8-12, causing the vacuum, causing all this stuff that my body just wasn't ready for. So we wanted to like kind of prepare for that, have a little of a plan in a sense, but I wanted to try to push and go naturally as much as I could and not do a C-section by any means. That was like last minute, but I didn't want to do a vacuum, so we needed to find that borderline. So her last growth ultrasound in January, she jumped from like 35th percentile to like 87th percentile. So she was like, okay, I'm really thinking we should try to get her out a week ahead of time so we don't run into the same scenario. So 39 weeks I was on Valentine's Day, 2/14, and I was like, perfect, let's just schedule it, get it going. So that Monday I actually get a call, I'm working, and they have to cancel it because there's so many medical inductions need to happen. And I'm like, okay, I get it, totally get it. Kind of freaking out myself. That was the last day. Well, it turned out Saturday was the last day my doctor was going to be in town for a little bit. She was going out of town. And so I was like, okay, can you get me in like soon? Ended up being not till the following week, so I was kind of freaking out. So she's like, let me call you back. She talks to the doctor. She's like, oh my God, no, I moved this one. Another one, she's still okay to come on the 14th. So calls me back. I'm relieved that happened that Monday. On Tuesday of that week, I started having crazy pressure. This whole pregnancy, like I said, 32 weeks on, the pressure, the cramps, the Braxton Hicks, I was having real contractions here and there, but they'd go away. I was like, this little girl is going to fall out. Like, that's how I felt. So on Tuesday, I like didn't feel her like at all. I was having low fetal movement. Anything, I had orange juice, I laid down. I was working still at the time. But I would lay down with my laptop. I would drink orange juice. Anything I would do previously to get her to move, like, it was not working. And I started having really bad pressure. Like, I'd stand up and it was just like my back was on fire. And I've heard of back labor, but I never really like felt that or knew what that was. So everyone I was talking to, my friend Bailey at work, she's like, I truly think you need to go in and get checked. Blair was like, I don't know, Calli. I just think maybe you should get checked. Everything in my head was like, just go get checked. So we did go to triage. We brought our suitcase with us as we just weren't sure, kept it in the car. And our friend Shannon, who works there, who was actually my night nurse with Cruz, and she left right before I gave birth to Cruz, was there. So it was super nice to see a familiar face. But she checked me out. I was dilated to a 4 at that point. And I think there was a snowstorm coming that next Wednesday, or the following day. And I think if that wasn't the case and they weren't so busy, the triage was so busy, they probably would have kept me, I think. I was having some contractions, but nothing consistent. Basically, overall, we stayed there to be monitored for like an hour, and she basically came to the conclusion, like, she's probably on your back, like being in a weird spot or in a nerve spot that's causing all this pressure and pain. And she was right, because by the time I got home, I feel like my pressure kind of subsided. Definitely by the next day, it definitely was back to like being semi-pressure, but not the way I was feeling. So thankful she held on. We had a snow day that Wednesday, snowstorm, and I ended up starting, like, I put PTO in for the next like Wednesday, Thursday, because I was like, I feel like this baby's coming and I don't want to just abruptly leave work. So started maternity leave a tad early, and I'm thankful for a company that like understands like family comes first. I'm Absolutely. Like, they're just, I don't even know what to say. They're very family oriented and understand like work comes second, family comes first, and me taking those 2 days was not a big deal. They're like, we will see you back after your maternity leave. At this point, keep us updated, share pictures if you want to, but your time here is done basically. And I wanted to leave everything clean cut, be able to tell all of my reps I work with. So we started that, and I kind of just Wednesday, Thursday took rest time, washed my hair, did all the things, prepped for an induction on Friday. Cruz spent the night at Blair's, Scott's sister's house for our induction that Thursday evening. He was so stoked. Scott and I took him to dinner, hung out, and then we went over there to play with the boys before we just left. Friday morning rolls around. I could not sleep all night. I was so just like anxious, didn't want to miss my alarm, knew I was going to meet her so soon on Valentine's Day, and I get a call at 3:30, and we live like 40 minutes from the hospital, so we were getting ready to like wake up and start showering and getting ready to go, and they're like, we have to cancel your induction this morning. I was so sad. I understand though, like emergencies happen. They had a bunch of babies come in, or women that are having babies come in that night. There was just no rooms for me. And I was an elective, technically an elective induction. So I wasn't on the priority list, which I totally understand. But at the time, end of the world, I was so sad. So Scott and I kind of had a day. Cruz went to school with Blair, and Nick took him, of course. And we just kind of had a day. And I'll be honest, I moped and laid around most of the day, got a few more chores done, and just prepped for waiting to hear. And they're like, we'll call you when we know when you can come in. And I'm like, okay. So we just waited. Finally, I called them because like I was so anxious. I'm like, am I coming in tonight, or am I coming? Like, I just kind of needed to know a little plan. Turns out they were just so busy. She's like, Dr. Azelle, which is my doctor, can get you in the morning on Saturday. Let's just do a Saturday induction. And I didn't even know that was an option. They typically don't do weekend inductions. But Azelle was like, we need to get her in. Like, this is what is happening. This is my last day, and I want to be here for it, which I'm thankful for her. Like I said, I love her to death. If you need an OBGYN, or if you're thinking about having a baby in this local area, Susan Azelle, she is great. She's just like, Scott and I are always like, she's just like us. Like, you can have a conversation with her. She's cool. She tells you straight to the point. She's knowledgeable. Like, she's just, and she's caring. Like, she's so great. She has 2 young children too. We just really liked her. So highly recommend her. But she got me in on Saturday. So that evening we actually had a birthday party for one of our best friends. Their little boy is born on Valentine's Day. So I'm glad he like can have his own birthday now, and she's not going to share it with him. Even though Valentine's birthdays would be so cute. Little girl on Valentine's birthday, I just thought would be so adorable. But anyways, I got past it. So we met Cruz at the pool party, because he had already like knew that Blair was going to pick him up from school, and I didn't want to take that away from him. So we went to the party, walked around, saw him. He went back to spend the night at Blair's again because we had an induction in the morning. So Saturday we went in for our induction. I was just anticipating the cancel call the whole time though. I'm like, they're going to call and cancel, but they never did. So we get ready, say goodbye to Penny Girl, pack up the car, and hit the road. And I'm like so anxious and nervous. So we get to the hospital, get checked in. I would say about 6 o'clock I'm completely checked in, you know, do the IV, all the consent forms. It's all hooked up, ready to go, starting the Pitocin to get things rocking. We didn't need Cervidil, however you say that. We did not need that. I was already at a 4. I was 55% effaced when I went in. So things were already looking way better. You so loud, sissy. Hi. Anyways, we get that going. I did take some notes. Like, I like to have notes and like look back on how the day went. And I did that with Cruz's too, which I'm glad I still have that. So that was nice. But we were 39 weeks and 1 day. We started Pitocin, like I said, around 6 a.m. and just kept upping it like as needed. Shannon was my nurse all day again, which I was so excited to see her, have her. She's just literally the sweetest, and she just like would hang out with us. You know, we'd laugh, small talk. Like, it would just be nice to like have a friendly face when you're going through that. Sissy, what are you doing? Penny just joined us. She might knock my camera over. Zelle came in at 8. It was so nice to see her. She was like, I'm so sorry about yesterday. Like, so glad we could get you in today. She checked me, and I was at a 6. 2 hours of the Pitocin, I was now at a 6. So she ended up breaking my water. I did not remember that with Cruz's. That was a weird experience, but broke my water. Contractions were getting a little more painful. I ended up getting an epidural around like 8:30 after that, because I didn't want to miss it was at a point where I was like not in super pain, but I was like, I don't want to be in super pain. So I ended up getting my epidural, which I was very excited. I was more scared of that than that and the IV in your hand than anything, honestly. I hate needles, which is crazy because Scott's always like, you have tattoos. I'm like, it's totally different, absolutely different. But got my epidural, was feeling good. We were doing the peanut ball from side to side like every 30 minutes. I was so freaking numb from my epidural. I could not feel anything. Poor Shannon, she's like 5 foot something, like short, tiny little girl, and I'm just like this massive pregnant woman. Scott had to like pick me up basically to turn me over every time. So we talked to the anesthesia guy and he came back and turned my epidural down. It was set for like my height, but I didn't need that much. I wanted to be able to feel a little contractions because I wasn't feeling absolutely anything, which was nice at the time. But I knew when it was time to like push, I would want to feel something so I could push like at the right time. So around noon, we were sitting upright, like on hands and knees, trying to get baby just to come down a little bit further. She was low, but not low enough. We ended up being 7 centimeters at that point at around noon, and 70% effaced. So we were getting there, but we needed the little girl to get down. But that's when I started getting in so much pain. I was pretty much crying. So much pressure in my booty. I had never felt that with Cruz, which was nice to feel with her because I felt like things were actually happening and working. That was my biggest like concern. I kept thinking she's gonna fall out. Like I have so much pressure. We were 90% effaced and 8 centimeters dilated like an hour after that. And that's when things got pretty intense. We were having contractions. I'm looking at my notes. We're having contractions every 2 minutes, lasting a minute, like on the minute. So they were getting pretty crazy. I ended up getting to a 9.5 and started pushing around 2 to practice. Azelle walked in and was like, let's just look to see if when we push that little 0.5 centimeter, will it like go away so that the baby can come out. We practiced pushed like twice and she's like, okay, please stop. Like she's coming out. And I was like, wait, so you're telling me I don't have to push for 2.5 hours? She goes, absolutely not. That will not be happening this time. So I was so thankful. We pushed for about 15 minutes and little girl came out. Everything was perfect. Her head of hair popped out first, of course. And Azelle was like, do you want to touch it? And I'm like, no, I just want this baby out of me so I can hold her and love on her. But I remember her telling me it's like dark and I'm like, it's dark? What? And of course, like they're all gunky from like the stuff inside of you. But I was like, that is crazy. I was like, I'm surprised there is hair because in a couple of our ultrasounds, there wasn't too much hair, but we hadn't had one since like beginning of January, end of December-ish. Because the snowstorm, I was supposed to have one that week of a snowstorm and it got canceled. So her little arm when she came out was like this by her head. So that was the only time I had to stop pushing and she had to kind of like help maneuver her out. And I felt all of that, which was so like cool, like a pressure feeling. But my epidural was great. He knocked it down so I was able to feel a little bit, but also not feel anything at the same time. Overall experience was 10/10 recommend. I only pushed for 15 minutes. Very thankful for that from the past birth I had. I only had a 1st-degree tear. I know it's probably TMI, but definitely wasn't a front to back episiotomy. So that's been so nice and healing. Obviously it still hurts and a pain, but are you pooping? But definitely not like it was with Cruz. So very thankful. She was born on 2/15/2025. Homegirl weighed 8 pounds 6 ounces. I was shocked when she came out. I was like, oh my god, she's so little. No, 8 pounds 6 ounces still. Cruz was 8'12". Cruz was 21 inches or 21.5 inches long, and she was 20.5 inches long. So that's kind of crazy. I feel like she would have been just as big as him if we would have waited for 40 weeks. She was born at 2:27 in the afternoon. So I got to hold her. My placenta came out, but there was like 2 or 3 straggling pieces, which that is what it is. My placentas just want to hang on in there. So she did have to scrape a couple times to get a few pieces out, but it wasn't like anything before. So placenta came out and she checked all out healthy, was so good to go. She immediately was like wanting to eat, fist in her mouth, like trying to suck on her thumbs. She instantly took a binky, which I wasn't going to do it instantly, but she would not stop crying and like sucking on her hands. We got to do over an hour of skin on skin. Dad got to do skin on skin. It was just a very different experience and I'm very thankful for that. This is our little miracle babe that somehow we got pregnant with and then came into the world so much easier than her brother. But it's just been nice. Cruz came and visited her at the hospital. My parents got to visit her that night. Vicky and Tom and Blair came up the next day. And honestly, we haven't had many visitors this week because just family, really. My parents have been, or my dad got a little cold this week, so my mom's been over. Charlotte and my brother have met her. Blair brought Nick and the boys all over to meet her. That is it. That's our little Cove birth story. Cruz is obsessed with her. Like I said, a tad too obsessed with her sometimes, but we are working through it. Scott and I were talking. He is adjusting so well as he can. It's such an adjustment though with 1 to 2. I do think, I don't know, I can't really speak on it yet. I do think going from 0 to 1 was harder on me, and I think also postpartum so far has been easier for me this go around. So I don't know, we'll see. We're only a week into this, so I'm taking myself as each day as it comes with grace and just enjoying these moments with her. Like I said, this is our first day alone without our visitors, but like our first day with just me and her, so I'm very, very excited. I have maternity leave till August, so I'm excited for the summer of us as like a family. We travel a lot in the summer. We do a lot of camps and are outside, and lots and lots of family time, drive time, road trips. We have a few trips planned this year. I'm just excited she's here, and Cruz is so excited that he has his Sissy Cove. He calls this one Sissy Cove, and then Sissy Girl is Penny. So Sissy Cove and Sissy Girl. It's just been fun to see him as a big brother, and he's wanted mommy's attention, he's wanted daddy's attention, he wants to cuddle. You guys watch movies with me, like he's like, come on, come here. He wants Sissy Cove on top of him at all times. Overall, 10/10 this birth experience. Very, very thankful for her. Thankful for Scott. I don't know what I would do without him this week. During Saturday, he was like making jokes on his Instagram about like how he's running out of snacks at the hospital, and like, oh my gosh, my day's so bad, like just joking around. And people were like, I'm gonna kill him for you. I'm like, he's joking, like he's being so great. He's been such a good support, hasn't he? You're the best daddy, don't you? You have the best daddy, and you're gonna have him wrapped around your fingers so soon. But anyways, I'll wrap it up because it's been a lot of time that I've been talking. But we are so thankful for Sweet Cove and Sweet Cruz and both of our birthing pregnancy experiences. Aren't we? Someone's got the hiccups. She gets the hiccups a lot. So that's Sweet Little Cove's birth story, and I'm excited to keep documenting our little family and Cruz and Cove growing up together. Big brother's doing so good, isn't he? And daddy's just the best, helping us all times, letting mommy heal. Yeah, we're all enjoying little Cove snuggles. Yeah.
Good morning. Or good afternoon. It's 11. Yeah, baby girl. Blue-eyed girl. So we have some blue eyes right now. Deep blue. We'll see if they stay like big brothers. Right? Right? Did you just have a visitor? Did you? Did Auntie Madison come stop by and bring coffee? Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. She brought us coffee. And in a couple hours, we're going to have one more visit each other. We've had family visit this week, and now today's Friday, and we're having a couple friends visit, aren't we? Taking our time, aren't we? Soaking it up. Pretty girl. He's a pretty girl. Yeah, he's a pretty girl.